this is Ram Chowder. My name's Brian Andrew. I'm here with Lex Torres. How you doing, my friend? I
Hello,
heard you
hello.
recently went to Arizona. I know
Yep.
it wasn't for baseball related stuff. I'm sure it was to see what the Cardinals are up to. Am I right?
Exactly. Exactly. Recently, Lex here recently went to Arizona specifically just to see if I could get the inside scoop on what the Arizona Cardinals are doing. And this just in, towards the end of March, they are hosting car auctions in the parking lot of the State Farm Arena. So that's what the Cardinals are up to. And
I
that's all I got for you for our Arizona report for today.
I like that. I didn't even give you a heads up. I was gonna throw you on the spot like that. And you already was like you saw some kind of flyer somewhere and you were able to just pull that out of your ass right now. That was impressive.
Yeah,
I
yeah, appreciate it.
but you know the good old saying, not all Rams news is good news.
Darn, yeah. Oh my goodness, we have some things to talk about.
So,
Unfortunately,
so I wouldn't say we went on hiatus, but we were just like, free agency's a little slow. So every
yeah,
time we were about to record, we'll be like, let's give it another day.
yeah.
Maybe the Rams will trade for AJ Brown or something, something of that nature. But then Monday, late afternoon, we got a TMZ report
Oof.
about our good old friend, uh, maybe not friend, Puka Nacua, allegedly.
Yes, allegedly.
There was a photo though.
Oh God.
Uh, of he bit a lady and also made anti-Semitic comments allegedly. He since then has been suing for defamation. He would say he didn't discount the bite. He just said it was horseplay, which if that's the same bite in the photo, it was a pretty gnarly bite.
Yeah.
Um, According to Nicole's attorney, Levi McCarthan,
Hmm.
he has spoken to witnesses, including other Rams players who were present, who didn't hear Nakua make the anti-Semitic statement.
Hmm.
Okay. He also said, this is the lawyer, the bite was innocent, quote, horseplay. So this is originally coming from, I'm going to mispronounce this name, Madison Adabai.
Oh, okay. There it is.
Okay. I
I
think
think. I don't know.
I appreciate you not shooting me down right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I jumped on that sword for both of us because you would have had to maybe read the name. So
Oh no, yeah. I would have been
so
cooked.
she made the claim this week in an application for a temporary restraining order. Uh, it's funny. I'm reading this on Show Reader, and on the LA Times website it says advertisement, advertisement. Scroll to continue with content. I almost read that right
Yeah.
now. Okay, this isn't a laughing matter, but this
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
Uh, she asserted in the court filing that during a group New Year's Eve dinner,
Hmm.
Nicola made an offensive remark about Jewish people in a manner audible to her and others at the table. She added that Nicola's vulgar, threatening, violent, harassing conduct escalated as the evening progressed. After dinner, she says she was in the car with Nicola with others when the Rams star bit her on the left shoulder, leaving a substantial bite mark that was photographed. Nuka also is alleged to have bitten the thumb of her friend so forcefully that she screamed in pain.
Oh. Oh.
Um, Puka. I'm reading this a little out of order, but so far I
Yeah.
feel like I'm getting the narrative okay.
Yes.
Puka denies these allegations in the strongest possible terms. That was quoted by his lawyer. We will pursue all available legal remedies in response to these false and damaging statements. The request for a temporary restraining order was denied by the Los Angeles Superior Court judicial officer, and a hearing is scheduled for April 14th.
Hmm.
The lawyer also said our office was contacted with demands of millions of dollars in exchange for not publicizing these allegations. This is not a legitimate claim. It is blackmail. In December, Nakoa apologized for an anti-Semitic gesture he made while appearing on a live stream with Aiden Ross.
Hmm.
Would you like to take it from here, Lex?
Oh my goodness. Uh, alrighty. This was a tall order. I guess I could start off from the beginning. Let's start off with the Aiden Ross stream and the Puka Nacua incident. I know um, Aiden Ross is a huge streamer, a very successful modern day streamer. Has a lot of fans out there, all that good stuff. Um, Streamers in general, Twitch streamers, Kick streamers, like all these live streamers, there's kind of a culture behind it where um you sort of do it for clicks. A lot of the things that you do in your live streams as a streamer is oftentimes for clicks. And this is just me from kind of the spectator side of things. Um, Now that could sound like a negative thing, right? Like, oh, if you're just doing something for clicks, right? But as a live streamer, that's usually kind of like your livelihood, right? Is um, Maybe it's a stigma to think of like just doing it for clicks as a negative thing, but that's kind of how that situation happened, right? Aiden Ross got Puka Nacua to go get on his live stream. They were on some sort of, I don't know if it was like a Rams team bus or Puka Nacua's bus, or if this was like Aiden Ross's bus. I'm not exactly sure on those details, but he got in the bus. Allegedly, Sean McVay was trying to prevent it. Maybe this is just kind of a rumor, or I don't know if Aiden Ross said this, um, or if the internet is saying it, but there was like one or two attempts of Sean McVay like delaying Puka Nacua's appearance on that podcast or stream. But here's from what I recall from that first incident is Aiden Ross about to do something for clicks. He does this gesture, right? This gesture that's not too kind towards the Jewish community, right? But Aiden Ross is doing it because he thinks it's funny. He thinks it's gonna get clicks. He thinks his chat is gonna love it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so he's telling Puka Nacua, hey, when you score a touchdown, do this gesture, right? Insert gesture here. And here's where I think I don't know what goes on in Puka Nacua's mind, but I think Puka Nacua had no idea what he was doing, and he did it anyways. And I think I almost want to feel like, you know what, I almost blame Aiden Ross more for that situation. Uh, but having said that, this is a second instance, right? That you just detailed, right? All of this allegedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the live stream that was caught on on film. Uh, but the TMZ reports of the biting and the anti-Semitic remark from Puka Nacua. Uh, Although that's allegedly, seeing how Aiden Ross was able to, I don't want to say manipulate Puka Nacua into doing the gesture. Aiden Ross, I'll say easily tricked or easily convinced Puka Nacua to do the gesture. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a similar situation in this new thing. So now here is where it's all pure speculation, right? None of what I'm saying right now is, I have zero facts about this TMZ report. This is just all like either allegedly or just speculation. But that's like kind of basing the foundation off the Aiden Ross stream. That's what makes this TMZ report like so complex to me, because it's like, all right, we wanna believe both sides, or at least give a fair shot to both sides. Sometimes the truth is somewhere in the middle, right? Sometimes. Other times, maybe Puka Nacua is just saying a bunch of things and biting a bunch of people because he's easily convinced, right? Maybe the someone was egging him on. You never know, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there could be a million different ways. Maybe it could be Puka Nacua's fault. Maybe it could be the lady trying to capitalize off of the some fame. You never know, right? Like maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle. But all that being said, oh, I Puka is an interesting character, is what we're finding out over the last 6 months to a year here. So, um,
So I will say that as a Rams fan, he is setting himself up to not. So there's going to be, I think there's going to be divisions of people. There's going to be some
mm,
people that just like, I just care about football. I just care about the Rams winning. I don't
mm,
care what he does, says, or whatever. People are going to be like, as long as it helps us wins the championship next season. And I'm pretty sure that there's people in the Rams organization that feel the same way. So,
mm, yeah,
so I. And the NFL has a history of being, shady in their own right. Uh, not and and being that I don't know. Okay, just the NFL doesn't have a great history of
Mhm.
being proactive about some of these things.
Yeah.
I also feel with this situation too, like Puka. Puka is kind of admitting to the bite,
Yeah.
like so I have a feeling that the NFL might do something. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams are just going to be like, we'll wait till the NFL does something about it.
Yeah.
The Rams kind of kept their distance too when the Aiden Ross thing happened, except
Mhm.
for the reports that came out that Sean McVay was not happy about it.
Yeah.
Keep in mind the context of everything too is that was the same week the Rams lost to the Seahawks,
Yes. Yeah.
and it pretty much threw our NFC West division championship or winning, the number one seed in the playoffs
Yeah.
kind of went to the wayside that day. That whole week, people and Puka had a great game against the Seahawks, but we
Yeah.
still we still managed to lose, and it was just a huge distraction.
Yeah.
And like before we did this podcast, or when we were about to do it on Sunday, you were like, "Hey, I guess we could talk about some of these pop culture things that are going on, like
Hmm.
Maxine Dupree being a former Rams cheerleader saying you can't date players." And I was like, "All right, we can maybe talk about some of this stuff." It's been a cold couple weeks.
Yeah.
And another thing you brought up was, "Hey, yeah, Puka was at a UFC event," and
Yeah.
celebrities go to UFC events all the time,
Yeah.
but Puka like really made it obvious he was there. And a lot of people, based on like some of the things he has done in the past, like the Aiden Ross thing
Hmm.
and stuff of that nature, I feel people were kind of like, all right, look, he's again being an immature NFL player at a UFC event. And but you could also make the point is like he just looks like he's having a really good time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and when you take the Aiden Ross thing, it's like, okay, maybe that was just an innocent mistake, right? We don't know. Like you said,
Hmm.
we have no idea what goes on in his head. Maybe
Correct.
it's just an innocent mistake though. And then he's a 20 something year old just having a good time at a UFC event. Sure.
Yeah.
Then this comes out.
Yeah.
And then you start trying to figure out, okay, can we put two and two together? Is is two and two technically not, like the comments are technically allegedly made.
Hmm.
He's disputing that it happened, but then also correlates with the Aiden Ross thing.
Yeah.
If the Aiden Ross thing didn't happen and this thing just came out randomly, we might be like, okay, well, the bite looks pretty intense, but maybe he didn't make those comments. Maybe
Hmm.
she's just trying to, like you said, like there could be the potential of star player. You were with them during New Year's Eve, and you have an opportunity to, or he bit you, and and you also want to say he did make these comments, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if the two and two are related. I think like if all of them were individually in a vacuum, they cannot be related. But now I think now like the LA Times article I just read too is just like he brought it up there as well. So so it's interesting from an NFL perspective too. JSN Seahawks got his contract extension, highest paid wide receiver in the league.
Hmm.
People are saying Puka Nacua is next. Literally, when's Puka's contract? When is he getting the big contract?
Hmm.
And then this comes out in the afternoon. So A, this probably don't like delays that. I think
Hmm.
the Rams are probably rethinking. All right, like obviously we are better with him,
Yeah.
but are we? Is this really someone who want long term being the face of our franchise?
Hmm.
These are things that they need to consider. And I feel like, if I'm being honest with you, when it's baseball and you take steroids,
Hmm.
teams really try to kind of like remove themselves from that player until they feel like they're safe enough to like kind of bring him back in the fold.
Yeah.
When it's basketball, And the basketball has, when it's NBA, they have had their own share
Yeah.
of giving players maybe second chances they don't deserve.
Yeah.
The NFL, I feel like sometimes slaps these empty suspensions on and things, and then they just kind of move on.
Mm-hmm.
And I could totally see if nothing really comes from this, if the restraining order is denied and the comments can't be proven to be true,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just horseplay, so it's just an immature wide receiver. I could totally see this be non-news by the
Mm-hmm.
summer, and we just go into the season.
Yeah.
And that this this probably was a traumatic experience for this woman, and for that to happen is a shame. But that I feel like that's just the NFL,
Mm.
and maybe the NFL will give him like a 1 or 2 game suspension just to say like, hey, we don't tolerate this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I'm sure Sean McVay doesn't like the distraction. I'm sure he's not happy. He didn't like it the week of the Seahawks game. He's certainly not going to like it now.
Yeah.
But it's March. It there there's plenty of time for this to be non-news, especially in this media environment where people forget things that happened last week. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this certainly puts Puka Nacua in some of the more unlikable Rams though, and I feel like I'm excited for new uniforms. I'm hoping they drop this month
Yeah.
or in April, I mean. Usually when the teams get new uniforms, they come out in April.
Yeah.
If they just have like a throwback jersey helmet that comes like in July. Puka Nacua is not going to be a jersey I buy. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And also like cuz it does, and I don't mean to get too into this, and I've kind of
Mm-hmm.
had like a long monologue here. Sorry, Lex. I know
No
you
worries.
have some thoughts, but it's like it does matter to me who I like to represent.
Yeah.
And for a while I had a tough time with the Rams because I don't agree with a lot of Stan Kroenke's donations to
Mm-hmm.
political parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so it took me a little while to kind of maybe separate the two. And then you kind of have that thought process like if you want to like the NFL and you want to like the NFL team, it's a very conservative league.
Yeah.
So you just gotta figure out whether that's at. But like I am not going to uh wear a jersey of a player that might have done might have said anti-Semitic things and also may or may not have done it intentionally done a dance. Also bit a woman on New Year's Eve. I'm not going to do that. There's
Yeah.
plenty of other Rams jerseys I could buy. And to be honest, eventually the Rams will probably move on. It's the league. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
moved on from Cooper Cup. We moved on from a lot of our players, Robert Woods, stuff like that. It
Mm-hmm.
happens. And to be honest, we might miss the production on the field, but we're not going to miss the distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure in the small window that Matthew Stafford has left, the Rams are going to put up with it,
Yeah.
and then eventually they won't. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough because this kid is talented, uh, unbelievable on the field, but we've seen examples like that time and time again. And I think as like you never want to root for someone's downfall if like the story is misconstrued, right? I'm sure we'll either find out more facts to come, or let's say if he has a third incident, then it's kind of like, okay, maybe all these incidents are kind of related, right? Like as time passes, we'll probably know more. But uh, based off the information we have right now, right, based off the two incidents so far, um, at the very least, I think I can agree. Like he is a 24-year-old, right? Uh, for me, that was 11 years ago when I was 24, and uh, I'm a very different person. You know what I mean? Like from when I
yeah,
was 24 till today. and so who knows? It's almost like I don't want to root one way or the other, because again, like the facts are the facts.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the lady is in the wrong, then like, oh, okay, like that'll come out sooner than later. If Puka Nacua is in the wrong, I'm sure the evidence of that will come out later as well, right? But I can't help to think of just past examples of superstar athletes who are so talented on the field or in their respective sport, yet are always riddled with off the court stuff, quote unquote, right? And so, one example I immediately think of is John Jones, right? How he had just kind of repeating situations always pop up, right? Most of which are his own doings, uh, but is one of the best, right? And so who knows? Maybe again, a lot of this is allegedly, and a lot of from our end, it's a lot of speculation, right? But
And,
maybe
and
Puka learns, or maybe we'll see a third incident soon, and then it's kind of, and like you said, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, I agree with you too. Because like I was once in my 20s. I wasn't going around biting people,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
but uh I was once in my 20s too,
Mhm.
and I wasn't as wise maybe I am now, and even then I still have a lot to learn.
Same.
But I there is this like thing of like, is he just being a 24-year-old, or is he someone who makes millions of dollars and needs to be accountable,
Yeah.
and an entire franchise is invested in him,
Yeah.
so he needs to kind of figure it out.
A lot
And
of responsibility in his job. Absolutely.
right, like I'm pretty sure if I did something stupid, uh I would get fired from my job.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
so
That's true.
I so but I am kind of hopeful. I am optimistic that maybe 4 or 5 seasons from now, maybe Puka is just a forever Ram,
Mhm.
retires with the Rams 10 years from now. And we look back and like, remember when he had all those things that happened, and then he kind of like strained up, and
Yeah.
he was just solid, for the Rams. Like, and we could probably look back and be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of athletes too that like sometimes I look back on some of my favorite players growing up, or favorite people, and I'm like, and then you hear about like later allegations of stuff, and you're just like,
Mhm.
oh man, that kind of
Yeah.
ruins it for me.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping, because there could be a situation a few months, or even in April, where it's like it's proven that the bite was just horseplay,
Mhm.
and there was a reason he did it. We kind of look at it as like a there's a lot of jokes on Twitter about him
Yeah.
biting and stuff like that. But maybe it was just like, everyone's having a good time. Maybe he was dared to do it or something,
Yeah.
and then maybe there's no proof he made these comments. Maybe he's never made these comments,
Mhm.
and the Aiden Ross thing was innocent, and he's just a 24-year-old, or is he 24? Do we even
24. Yeah.
are we just saying? Okay, so
Yeah. Yeah.
he he's just having a good time at UFC events. He was just
Mhm.
on a live stream. He went out with his friends and did something dumb.
Mhm.
And maybe there's an opportunity for everyone to move on from it. But there's also an understanding that the allegations of the remarks and the connection to the Aiden Ross thing and stuff like, those are serious things to consider. And
Mhm.
so time will tell. Um, and we'll see. I think if we'll touch on it later. I don't think like the AJ Brown rumors were to replace Puka.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so do you want to move on, and then we'll probably have more to talk about it in another episode,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
especially after the hearing, or maybe when more things come out.
Right. Yeah. When more information and more facts
Yeah.
come out.
I feel
Yeah.
I feel like we navigated that okay. Some people
Mhm.
will probably let us know if we didn't.
Yeah.
Um, but So I read an article today.
Mm-hmm.
The source was by Brock Vieira
Okay.
of Sports Illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
He's a beat writer for Sports Illustrated. I'm still kind of like been a Rams fan for a while. I could tell you every really good, reliable Clippers beat writer.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably tell you the same for my favorite baseball team too, which I don't know
Yep.
if I'm sharing yet. I haven't figured out if I'm sharing that with you guys
Yeah, yeah.
yet. But with the Rams, for the most part, I've always kind of leaned on uh, ESPN stuff like that, and
Yeah.
usually. And I know, but I know there are some really good beat writers out there, and I'd like to read their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Brock could be one of them. I just still don't know that yet. So I could be talking about this on the podcast, and we could be full of shit. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, he, I believe, has a source of what a potential
Mm-hmm.
backup quarterback could be for the Rams this year.
Oh, interesting.
Former Pro Bowler.
Okay.
I believe, and I will check. I will double check this, but I
Mm-hmm.
believe has played under Sean McVay before
Mm.
back in the day.
Okay.
I don't know if you're getting any of these hints yet.
Oh, Sean McVay was
He was the assistant coach
coach
for the Washington
Washington. Yep.
Commanders.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Oh gosh. Oh, darn. Wait a second. All I can think of is Alex Smith. Okay, all right. I'm stumped.
Kirk Cousins.
Oh.
Brock also mentions, though, that this player could also be the quarterback for the Rams post Matthew Stafford, which is interesting because he's only like 6 months younger than Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
But he then, this someone brought that up on the comments on Twitter. He
Uh-huh.
responded with, he would be the bridge to the next quarterback.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay.
And by
All right.
bridge, that could be a year.
Yeah.
So, um, interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I do feel if in a pinch Matthew Stafford didn't have to play,
Hmm.
I would probably think Kirk Cousins could carry the torch a little bit better than Jimmy G.
Yeah, yeah.
But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts if this were to happen?
Yeah, oh, man. You know what the first thing that popped in my mind right when you said Kirk Cousins is like the meme of the Atlanta Falcons QB room at the moment, right?
Hmm.
And it's that meme of, one person's injured, another person making a lot of money to be a backup, another person's, uh, got some past issues with concussions, right? And so it was quite the QB room. And so when you mentioned that name, I was kind of like, hmm, I I hear what you're saying on the
So
Kirk.
I
So Kirk Cousins is better than Jimmy G at this moment, and that's kind of how I felt about it. If that makes sense.
if I'm Kirk Cousins, and I'm actually just right now skimming a story from 2017 where it says Kirk Cousins and Sean McVay developed
Uh-huh.
a special bond with insert former Commanders team name. And if I'm Kirk Cousins, and of course, and apparently he would, he's already made millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
He got a big contract from the Falcons to basically play
Yeah.
like I feel like 15 games.
Yeah.
Um, would probably take the league minimum, maybe just $1 million or $2 to
Yeah.
back up Matthew Stafford. And
Mhm.
at the end of it, you could probably even Matthew Stafford has a sore thumb. Put Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins in again. I'm I feel like Kirk Cousins is not as good as he was 4 or 5 years ago,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I feel like he would understand the system relatively quickly.
Hmm.
He has a good relationship with Sean McVay apparently, and he would be a decent. And if you're going to be a backup quarterback, which I don't think he's going anywhere to start right now,
Yeah.
why don't you go to a team that is probably one of the top three teams to win the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah.
I think it makes sense from Kirk Cousins' point of view.
Mm.
I just don't know where the Rams want to invest their money if they want to bring in someone like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, what do you have any more thoughts on Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins possibly being a backup quarterback for the Rams?
Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. No, I mean, yeah, it's funny because like Kirk Cousins as an idea, right, and as his history, I'm a fan. I like Kirk Cousins, but uh, man, it's yeah, it's I feel like Kirk might be a little bit more rundown than Matt Stafford, and Cousins is younger, right? Or not that much younger than Stafford in general. I could be wrong on that, but I mean, yeah, as far as backup quarterbacks go, yeah, I mean, uh, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Um, what would make me nervous is the comment on how Cousins would figure to be kind of the transitional quarterback after Stafford retires. Um, to me, that feels like maybe we should draft a quarterback sooner than later. It's kind of like my initial reactions to that.
I guess where I'm coming from would be if that's really the case, and I don't know what the sources are
Yeah.
saying or whatever. It to me that looks like it's more of a the Rams don't like this year's draft class.
Mhm.
Maybe they don't like next year's draft class either.
Gotcha.
And they're like, we'll literally have this Sean McVay protege
Mhm.
in his final year in the NFL leave the Rams in what would probably be a gap year. But me and you have discussed the whole Matthew Stafford thing of like I think I'm in the boat that Matthew Stafford is probably gonna give us 2 seasons. If he wins the Super Bowl this season, he'll retire. But if he
Yeah.
doesn't, he'll at least do it probably another season after that. Then
Yeah.
at that point, you probably don't need the Kirk Cousins bridge year.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
Because I kind of look at the bridge year being like a 1 year thing.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you could do better than Kirk Cousins. And they could just bring Kirk Cousins in like a Blake Bortles thing. Bring
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins into this year. Maybe he's not a bridge quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you just tell him to get him in the room.
Mhm.
You're like, yeah, you could be the bridge. You could be the next quarterback next year, and then
Yeah.
you let him go in the summer, and then you bring in the next above average free agent QB to be the bridge. So
Mhm.
I don't know, but at least he has a relationship with Sean McVay. It's just not some random washed quarterback. It's a washed
Yeah.
quarterback that has a relationship with the coach.
Yeah.
So,
There it is.
uh, I guess we could touch on AJ Brown rumors.
Mhm.
So there was a report that the Rams are still interested in AJ Brown. I
Mhm.
believe the other team is the
Yeah.
Patriots. And we were kind of in the, oh, well, we need a wide receiver three. Obviously, that moves Adams to wide receiver three, moves AJ Brown to wide receiver two, who AJ Brown, though, would probably think he's wide receiver one.
One. Yeah.
Um, but I think the asking price for the Rams, I think they just can't agree on that. I
Mhm.
really don't want it to be the first round pick, especially with everything going on. I'd really like to see the Rams get a wide receiver with that pick just to
Yeah.
kind of have someone in the bank just
Mhm.
in case the whole wide receiver room needs to be
Yeah.
thrown in the trash eventually.
Yeah.
Uh, how would you feel tomorrow morning? I send you a screenshot and it says AJ Brown on the Rams. We traded blah 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 blah. How
Mhm.
would you feel seeing AJ Brown in a Rams uniform?
Yeah. Uh, Now I'm gonna be biased because of a particular fantasy football team that I had years ago that earned me a ship. But my initial reaction would be very positive, right? I don't think AJ Brown is on a decline, right? He hasn't had like his best years the last year or two from what I remember. I want to say maybe 3 years ago. It's kind of like where he was really, really crushing it. Um, but I don't think it's a decline. I think maybe there's something
Yeah.
going on in the Eagles' chemistry.
It's more of an
AJ,
Eagles. It's more of an Eagles thing, in my opinion,
yeah,
because statistically, he's still one of the higher ranked wide receivers.
yeah,
But like
absolutely
he's
right.
still getting like 1,000 yards this season. Like yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. And so like the areas where AJ Brown might not have been happy, and even like visibly expressing that he's not happy, like this past year and the year before, um, it does appear to be more of like an Eagles thing or a chemistry thing on offense. And so if I were to wake up, to answer your question, if I were to wake up tomorrow morning to the news that the Rams have acquired AJ Brown, uh, I would feel generally happy. I think it could be like a nice like change of scenery, as changes of scenery often help NFL players more often than not, or sports players more often than not, right? Um, I want to say Devonte Adams was kind of a similar case in that he was not happy, right? I think what the was the Raiders the team right before the Rams,
The
I think with
Raiders, and then
Devontae
he got traded to the Jets,
to
and
the
then so he
Jets.
spent like half a season with the Jets.
Yeah, so he wasn't happy on the Raiders towards the end. Didn't appear as happy on the Jets. Maybe it was a better situation than the Raiders. Who knows? But it felt like his mood, Devontae Adams' mood, and momentum just shifted. Almost like just in the interviews before the season started with the Rams, and then clearly it was evident on the field with the Rams that he just kind of had like a new life about him,
Mm-hmm.
despite any potential, critics saying that maybe he was on the decline at that point when we acquired him. I feel like AJ Brown would be um, even better than when we first got Devonte Adams, so where Devonte was at. And I'm just going off of feel and just like
Mm-hmm.
generally what I see here, but
It's all vibes
I feel
until
like
you see it.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly,
There's plenty of times in every sport you get a player and you're like, okay, I think we're getting this player and I think it's
yeah,
gonna fit this way, and
yeah,
then it just doesn't work, right?
exactly,
Or it does work and it works even better, right?
yeah,
Because when the Rams got Devontae Adams, I was like, all right, this guy's coming off good
yeah,
seasons with the Raiders and stuff like that, but he's 30 something years old. Like, what are we doing?
yeah.
Um, so two parts.
Hmm.
So you wake up, get that trade. We have AJ Brown. We traded the 13th pick in the draft. How would you feel about that?
Hmm. Um, I would still be happy that we would have AJ Brown. It would be yeah, because we had a recent episode where we talked about what if we traded our first round, our final remaining first round pick, right? For Max Crosby when those rumors were swirling.
And
Um,
apparently has a messed up knee, so
Yeah, yeah, we lucked out there, right? And so I remember like I wouldn't have been a fan of trading the first round there. Still not a fan of trading the first round for AJ Brown, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was necessary for the Eagles to be comfortable. Um, and and so it's interesting. If we can keep our first round, I'd be happy with AJ Brown. If the first round pick is involved, then I would start thinking of things of like, okay, well, AJ Brown wasn't happy with the Eagles for what it seems like for a couple of years, and was not afraid to voice his, um, his his unhappiness, right? As he has every right to. Um, then then that would kind of make me wonder, okay, if anything were to go south while he's on the Rams, like how quickly would he express his distaste or unhappiness with the Rams, right? And so I think it's
they're not going to do the tush push at the Rams.
yeah, right, yeah, yeah. So no tush
Stafford
push there.
slinging it. It's
Yeah, so
just
he
but if the wide receiver room's crowded, he might go from like
ah
1,000 yard season to a 700-yard season,
Yeah, and the question
600
then would
yards.
be, would he be okay with that role, right?
And he's won
And
a championship already. So it's
yeah,
not like he's ring chasing.
yeah.
So, and that could affect him getting paid in the future. So it would be, those are all interesting things to think about. All right, you wake up next morning. We don't trade the first round pick, but we
Mhm.
traded Devontae Adams.
Mm.
How would you feel?
I love Devonte Adams. I think his loyalty to the Rams has been amazing. Having said that, if we have to treat it like the business that it is, right? And Brian and I, we're historically huge fans of buying video games, sports video games, and only playing the GM feature, right? We definitely love playing the GM role here. As much as I love Devontae, I would still be happy getting AJ Brown in that deal. And again, you never know what the chemistry will be like right off the bat. You'll never know if if um if we get a personality in AJ Brown that we maybe will regret later. But I do have kind of one point where it makes me hopeful, almost that, like, you know what, maybe I kind of do hope that we get AJ Brown. And that point is, there was a bit of sense of humor that I was able to sense with AJ Brown in a video game streaming clip. So AJ Brown, over the past, I think it was like during last season, actually halfway through the season, AJ was streaming a video game with some friends or with a streamer. I can't recall what the situation exactly was, but this was, live. This was recorded, right? And I want to say there was like a fan interaction. Actually, one of the players, right, on this video game was a fan, and they're like, "Oh, AJ, I'm a fan of you." Blah blah blah. Like, someone's like, "Oh, AJ, I have you on my fantasy team." And AJ Brown responded, was like, "Oh, don't do that," or something along the lines like, "Nah, like, hey, drop me." Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was like a funny one liner of like, "No, drop me. I'm not doing good this season," right? And that kind of showed me that, as like, whatever the critics would like to say of AJ Brown's sour relationship between him and the Eagles over the last few years, is that kind of showed me, that clip, that gaming clip showed me uh, that he does have a sense of humor about it, and that he has an awareness about it. And maybe his awareness, you never know, right? Like, there's two sides of every story, kind of like how we were talking about the Puka situation. Maybe AJ Brown's awareness is that, hey, it's just not working for me here with the Eagles. If I go with the Rams, imagine if it turns around, right? And imagine if his production, returns to um, numbers that I think the whole NFL fan base is used to, right? And so part of me is hopeful, and I think overall I would be generally happy acquiring AJ Brown as a Ram.
I don't want to trade the draft pick, but I am kind of in this boat of like, if the team's really just going all in,
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes you gotta do F it moves.
Yeah.
And I got an interesting kind of narrative with this. Do you know who has the second most cap hit for the Rams going into next season? Who
I
who do you
would.
who so Matthew Stafford has the largest cap hit,
Mhm.
and then there's a player right underneath.
The largest cap hit, I would imagine Devonte Adams.
It's Devontae Adams has the second largest cap hit, more than
Yeah.
Puka, more than Kyron, more than McDuffie.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of these contracts end up kicking in later on, but
Yeah, yeah.
in terms of 2026 though,
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure in 2027 Puka's gonna have the largest uh, cap hit probably.
Yeah.
Uh, but AJ Brown, so Devontae Adams has a cap hit about $28 million.
Mhm.
AJ Brown has a cap hit for the Eagles of $23 million,
Mm.
$5 million less.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there would probably be some restructuring. There would
Yeah.
probably be an extension if the Rams got him. Obviously, it would cost us thing. Right now, we have Devontae Adams, and it doesn't cost us. It only costs us $28 million.
Yeah.
AJ Brown would cost us $23 million plus whatever we traded for him.
Gotcha.
But if we were to swap
Mhm.
34-year-old Devontae Adams for 29-year-old AJ Brown, who's
Yeah.
making $5 million less as a cap hit, I'm not going too deep into contracts here.
Hmm.
just the cap hit. Because as a Rams fan, I don't give a shit how Stan Kroenke spends his money. I care about the salary cap.
Right.
Like, how can we construct the best team with what we got?
Hmm.
And usually teams do that through the draft because rookie contracts are less than veteran contracts, but Lesney doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
AJ Brown is an upgrade from Devontae Adams. Now,
Yeah.
I think we're all kind of thinking we could have a superpower wide receiver room with Puka,
Hmm.
AJ Brown, and Devontae Adams, with Devontae Adams and AJ Brown having like $50 million, 50 plus $1 million of a cap hit, just those
Yeah.
two players alone.
Hmm.
But if it's just for a season, plus Puka, who maybe you could rearrange things where his cap hit doesn't hit till later when you guys restructure his deal.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like when I first heard about the AJ Brown thing, I was like, like, it looks like they're trying to build like a super powered wide receiver room because the wide receiver three is still a hole.
Yeah.
And if you replace AJ with Devontae, you still got to fill that wide receiver three hole.
Hmm.
But I was like, actually, I'm not against the move, actually, to replace Devontae Adams with AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I, but I would entertain them just throwing $50 million at that. But they're gonna have to put $50 million the following season into their quarterback room.
Hmm.
So it's really only a one season thing, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then obviously the 30 something year old Devontae Adams moves on. So
Hmm.
is there anything else you want to talk? You want to talk about Ronnie Rivers?
I mean, big news today, Ronnie Rivers, huh?
I like how that was just like thrown in there with all the other Rams news. There's someone in the Rams organization is like, hey, we got to distract from this Puka thing. Let's let everyone know we signed Ronnie Rivers.
Yeah.
Hey, I will say though, if the Rams today was like, all right, we just gotta get the AJ Brown thing going, we would probably lead the show off of AJ Brown,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
and then we'd be like, but oh, we gotta talk about the Puka thing. But
Yeah.
uh, so Puka made the headlines first, and that's where we're at.
There it
Do
is.
you have any final thoughts?
Um, Ronnie Rivers, man. Ronnie Rivers. 1 year, right?
We signed a couple other people that I'm not gonna look at the
Yeah, yeah.
transaction list right now. We
No, yeah.
but yeah, I think we'll see how the next couple weeks swing. I think we're gonna get new uniforms in the next
Yes.
few weeks. Hopefully, there hasn't been any discussion on when those will drop. The Titans dropped their new uniforms.
Hmm.
There's a lot more baby blue. They
Hmm.
kind of simplified the logo a little bit.
Are you
Uh,
nervous for the new Rams jerseys? Because if you think about it, when we had the move to LA, right, the recent one,
hmm
I believe 2016,
hmm
um, it was did we briefly have the St. Louis colors for a little bit, or do we immediately go back to like the old school colors?
So we technically had the Marshall Falk jersey,
Yeah.
the navy. We technically had that, and we had like this version of the Rams.
Hmm.
We did bring back this Warner
Yeah.
jersey, this royal blue and yellow, but it was the white jersey, and we used it as an alternate.
Oh.
We did have a series where we wore these Marshall Falk jerseys, but we changed the horn to a white horn to kind
Uh-huh.
of because I think there was like a throwback to like the 70s Rams thing that they were trying to do.
Yeah.
So, and then I would say, was it when we moved to Inglewood?
Uh-huh.
That's when we moved to the gradient, like
Like the eggshell white.
the futuristic Rams crap.
Yeah, yeah. So
Um,
since they've gone, blue and yellow a couple times ever since the move to LA, are you nervous for this upcoming announcement release of the new jerseys whenever it hits? Are you nervous about the possibilities from here that it could go non-blue, non-yellow?
uh,
I doubt it'll go no to both colors, but maybe one color might drastically change compared to the other. What are your kind of like thoughts and anxieties on that? Kind of looking ahead.
I think it's gonna be They might keep the same colors.
Hmm.
I don't know, but the style will change.
Hmm.
I'll tell you this right now, though. I don't care what any Ram fan says. The uniforms are probably the most important thing about being a Rams fan. They might want to talk about the Super Bowls and stuff like that. No, 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 no. You don't become a Rams fan without appreciating the most beautiful helmet in the NFL. And even when they added the crossfade to the horn,
Yeah.
it's still the most beautiful helmet in the NFL. I
Yes.
don't care what anyone says. You can maybe argue that the Bengals helmet's up there.
Hmm.
You could maybe say, "Oh, the Chargers helmet's kind of cool."
Hmm.
No, every other team just has like their logo slapped on the side. The Rams have a very innovating logo. Their logo was the helmet for many years.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I don't care what Rams fans say. The uniforms are the most important thing to being a Rams fan. And someone's gonna be like, I don't think so. No, it's 100%. Now the Rams have tried to mess with the logos a little bit there and there. It looks like we're gonna keep the LA thing.
Hmm.
Fine, I've grown to be okay with it, I guess.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna just, the rumors are saying that they're gonna go based on the midnight jersey template, which it makes sense a little bit
Hmm.
because they're gonna have that jersey for like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You either adapt around it, but it is a rivalry jersey. It's an alternate jersey you wear once a year. You could just totally just be like, we have that one jersey once a year.
Yeah.
We wear it. Who gives a shit? All our other jerseys look like this now.
Hmm.
But from what I've seen rumor wise, it looks like it's gonna be a template of like what the midnight jersey is,
Hmm.
but it's going to be in new Rams uh
Like
form.
colors
Uh,
or form. Yeah.
like they might use the same number design,
Yeah.
maybe similar sleeves,
Hmm.
but I think they're gonna go more for the standard blue and yellow look with no white,
Mm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they'll incorporate some white. Maybe they'll have white pants. Maybe they'll have white numbers or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I really feel like they jumped the shark with the last design, and it's people are okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm not. So I'm hoping that this is the biggest thing for I didn't need Trent McDuffie. I didn't need Jalen Watson. I certainly didn't need Puka making the headlines this week. I I need these uniforms to look good.
Yes.
And so this is a very exciting month because we have the jersey, hopefully the uniform reveal. If
Yeah.
usually happens before the draft because the NFL player likes to hold up the jersey when they make a draft pick.
Yep.
So they usually have the jersey ready. So hopefully a couple weeks, Rams are like, hey, look at what we did. And it and all I'm not asking for anything innovating. I'm asking them just keep it simple,
Hmm.
stupid, and yeah. But that was my long little. I was funny because I was thinking that we would probably talk about it because we didn't have a lot to talk about the last couple of weeks, and I was like,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on. I don't need to get into it. But then I don't know, something you said just kind of like, all right,
You reached a flow state.
yeah.
There it is.
um, on that note, oh, it looks like my microphone disconnected.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's fine. I'll just talk through it. Hopefully, it doesn't sound bad.
No, no, yeah. Yeah, I think it's just probably just computer speakers now or laptop speakers. It looks like it went back in actually. I could
Okay.
hear it better.
Do you hear me better now?
Yeah, way better.
I must have like shoved something during my rant, and so the most important discussing point in my so far in the Ram Chowder history,
The jerseys.
maybe I had the worst audio.
Oh no, no, you're good.
uh, but do you have anything you want to promote before we head out?
First and foremost, I want to promote at Ram Chowder. You know,
I appreciate
and
that.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. I hope you promote it.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely follow us at Ram Chowder. Everywhere we're at YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and then if you're a Pokemon fan, or if ever you feel so inclined to support myself in some of my solo journeys, I'm also at Lex the Catcher on most social medias as well. How about
Oh,
yourself?
awesome. I'm a Clippers fan. I have a Clippers podcast. It is what it is. If you want to, if you want to hate listen, you could hate listen. If you
Yeah,
want to love listen. Uh, I occasionally will do the LA Clips forum with my man Jake Barnes, who also designed that shirt. If you
nice.
know, you know. That's where I'll leave it before the NFLs. So but yeah, look at that. That's when the Rams won the Super Bowl.
Nice.
And for all our fans, this is episode 3 of our hopefully adequate journey of covering the Rams. We'll see
Yep.
how things go. We appreciate everyone though, because you could be doing anything with your time, but you spent it with us, and we appreciate it. We're out.
There it is. Thank you.